Why is it that people in the community of gaming think that Microsoft has control over Japanese games being on Xbox, like it's solely their position? What's up, guys? It's me, Hebot, coming at you with another video, hopefully really quick. And I can't continue to stress enough how come and how much this topic irks me and keeps bothering me. I can speak upon it and talk about it hundreds and hundreds of times, and it's still as if no one really, pays attention or listens, or they have a problem with hearing. I keep seeing people posting up, Phil, get all these Japanese games still on Xbox from all these developers that clearly do not care and have established and wanting to establish relationships with Xbox because it's not a Japanese console, because they are an American company. And I don't understand why this is such a hard thing to believe and understand by so many people in the gaming community today. I don't get it. We didn't deal with this back then because Nintendo was Japanese. Sega migrated to Japanese. They started in Hawaii. Okay, shout out to my boy Sega Forever for that one. Atari was American, but it was embraced in America, right? More than anywhere else. So again, I don't get why it's so hard to understand. Microsoft cannot force, and Phil Spencer cannot force, and Xbox cannot force all these Japanese developers to put their games on Xbox. Arc System Works, for example, they have licensing to all these games like River City Ransom, Double Dragon, and other stuff that's classic and older, right? That used to be owned by Williams. And for some reason, they want to put all the stupid smaller titles that nobody really pays attention to, like the old Nintendo classics, which were, to be quite honest, garbage, horrendous, in comparison to the other stuff that's come out through the years and to this point. But they won't put the arcade classic of the sequel, which is Double Dragon's Revenge, on Xbox. They've also been doing things like this with the people with games like Guilty Gear X and Strive and Signs and Designator, whatever the heck it was called, when that game was always a part of Xbox back in like the OG Xbox era, right? It was there. And they completely skipped it last generation and stayed on PlayStation 4. Now they're doing the same on PS5. And people act as if either Sony owns them or that they're not there because Phil doesn't want to establish relationships. When you see that other companies are embracing Xbox, that are Japanese developers, and bringing their games over. But here's the thing. A lot of the reasons why these games are coming over is simple. It's because Microsoft is paying them money up front that is guaranteed to put it on Xbox or on Game Pass. You see? That is why you see games like the Yakuzas and the Final Fantasies and the Judgments on Xbox, or even, Dragon's Quest, Tales of Arise is coming out soon. That's going to be, I believe, on Game Pass as well. It's because they're paying up front. They're paying these developers money up front that is guaranteed. So of course they're gonna put it on Game Pass, because it's basically Microsoft saying, listen, we'll pay you, just put it on our console. And then it makes Xbox, the brand, and Microsoft, the company, look like if they're desperate for these games on their unit. And the reason why Microsoft is doing it with the Xbox division is to placate and make the fan base of Xbox and the Microsoft and Xbox ecosystem happy, because they want the fans to have more reason to continue to support the Xbox brand and ecosystem by adding more things and giving them more value for their buck, which I understand from a business standpoint. From a business standpoint, I understand completely why they're doing it. But the reality is why should Microsoft have to do this? Meanwhile, Nintendo and Sony do not pay a dime out of their pocket, and yet these games go there. Because they're Japanese? That's pretty nationalistic, right? But you don't want to have, for a second admit and believe, hey, listen, the truth of the matter is that these people, they really only want to cater to the Japanese market or to the Japanese companies, and that's it, because they stick together for whatever reason it may be. And then people that call it out, you're pointing fingers at us like we're toxic, like we're starting console wars, like we just want to make things up for the sake of making it up, as if we're doing conspiracy theories, or that we're just making more out of it than what it is. But it's not. It's clear as day. It's all there. Plain and simple. It's all there. Okay? They support Japanese companies without hesitation, because these other consoles are Japanese. Nintendo and Sony are Japanese. They're not there because they're a better console, better made, or because they treat their fan base better. No. They're there because they're Japanese, and they only want to cater to the Japanese console and audience. And they act as if only Japanese people are buying these consoles, when the reality is the most people buying these consoles are the people from America and the United States and the UK, which are the two biggest markets right now for consoles. Okay? It's not the Japanese market, but yet they still do this. Nintendo's big and where it is, and so is PlayStation right now as far as console sales, because the Americans and the United Kingdom are the biggest supporters of these consoles. Just like PC, except maybe for China, but you guys know what I mean, right? So again, Phil is a very professional guy. He's an absolute fantastic leader, and also he really knows how to deal with gaming and the gaming, division, because he's a gamer, and he started when he was 18 and worked his way up on the Microsoft, ladder. He didn't ask for hand-me-downs. He worked his way up through all those years working hard in the game division and all other types of places in the Microsoft company, and got to where he is today. And he's a great leader in the division. But he's also very professional, and he's too classy, and he's not going to, in any way, shape, or form, give the idea or hint of what is going on. Phil cannot do that. He's not going to do that. He's not going to let the audience and the fans and the community know really what happens behind closed doors. So he's going to be as professional and as inclusive as possible. That's why a lot of times people say he plays the Kumbaya card, where he acts like everybody, holding hands and is happy together. But the reality of it is, if there's any type of competition going on, or things that he wants to do along the side, he has to do it quick, quietly, and as professional as he possibly can, because he can't call these guys out. And we saw the proof with Platinum Games, with what happened with Scalebound. Everybody pointed fingers at him. Phil took the blame. Phil took the weight. And then we find out years later, anyway, from Platinum Games' own CEO and the people out there, that it wasn't Microsoft's fault. That it was really their fault. And when we called it out and said it, the hardcore Xbox fans that never faltered, like myself, people said that we're just making stuff up. That it's that Microsoft don't know how to establish relationship with the Japanese audience. You know, Microsoft couldn't pick certain colors for the Xbox OG console, for example, because of the fact that they didn't accept those colors, saying that they were offensive to their culture. Yet those colors were on the PS2. And hence, that's why the OG Xbox has what a lot of people considered that ugly neon green. Because of that. Which, you know, Seamus Blackley clearly said in his story, an explanation of how it came to be that the color was neon green with black. And you people seem to have amnesia and forget this. They can't force them to put it there. The same way. Give me 1 second. Okay, guys, I'm back. Like I was saying, Microsoft, Phil, and the Xbox division cannot force these Japanese developers or Asian developers, whatever you want to call it, right, to put their games on Xbox or the Xbox ecosystem, right? Meaning the consoles, Game Pass, Windows. They can't force them to do it. They can't do that. But they also shouldn't have to be going out to them and reaching out and paying them money up front just so that they can say, okay, we'll do it. Because, and then we sit back and be like, oh yeah,
in 600 feet,
you know,
right onto
the Japanese are showing the Xbox fans and division love. No, they're not. They're showing exactly what they are. That they're just about money. Just like always and with everything they do. The Americans count when it comes to money. We're garbage when it comes to everything else. Okay? And nobody in any country, in the world, is perfect. Especially countries that have histories in the past of practicing communism the way they have. Okay? And I'm not saying America's perfect, because it's far from perfect. Absolutely not. But this is the greatest country to live in the world. No matter how people want to look at it, splice it, or say it. So why should we keep having to pay when we should get the same love and respect as a gaming company and as an industry? Because they're in the same space trying to deliver good quality and keeping the gaming culture and world unified and together as a whole. Because Microsoft and the Xbox division give a lot of love to PlayStation and Sony and Nintendo with their console right now, which is the Switch. These are just facts. These are facts. So I don't understand why so many people continue to do this every single time. Tell them to go downstairs, Tom's there. Every single time. This needs to stop. It's not Microsoft's fault the games are not there. It's the creators that are nationalistic with their mindset that don't want them to, that don't or choose not to put their games there on that, you know, on their console platform.
Can someone go downstairs? Tom is downstairs. Tom, the mailman.
So guys, like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video, right? I hope you enjoyed where I'm coming from. It really gets very tiresome to have to continue to sound like a broken record. But again, I do this because others in the community don't point it out that way. And others in the community love to act as if it's always Microsoft's fault why these things are happening, when that's not it at all. And like I said, someone like Phil Spencer, he's too professional and too classy to call it out. He's not going to put that out there. I don't have to worry about those type of things because I'm a YouTuber, a influencer, so to speak, right? So when I speak on something, I don't have to feel afraid of backlash, because if I get backlash, it's not going to hurt me personally in my personal life and space like it probably would someone like Phil Spencer, because of the fact that he works for Microsoft. So guys, leave a thumbs up if you liked the video. Leave a thumbs down if you didn't like the video. Share it with someone you think might like it. And as always, thank you for supporting me, for all those that continue to support me on a daily basis. And you guys can find me on social media, on Instagram under C_respect, on Xbox and Nintendo Switch under Hebot8, on the PlayStation Network under Alfel from Sky, and soon I will reveal my Twitter handle. Now, if you guys would like to share anything with me or have me showcase anything or review anything, then you can do so by hitting me up in the DMs on, for example, on Instagram or one of those online networks, and we'll work out the particulars. It'll be an honor to do so. It'll be a pleasure. If you want me to review something or highlight something like a game, whatever. So we can work out those particulars. And finally, if you guys ever want to help me out in any way, shape, or form, from the kindness of your heart, because maybe you have the means to, because you like what I do, and you know my channel's still small, and I basically fund everything out of my own pocket, or with the help of my children from time to time, it will go a long way. It will help. So the information in the way that you can do this is down in the description below, with my PayPal and my Patreon. Guys, I'll see you real soon. Love you guys. Until the next one, okay? Bye-bye.